I said we vote because of the blood oath that's been spilled, for our past leaders and ancestors who have all been killed, to fight for a right that we as humans deserve.
Change is an ongoing process. It is not a single action. And change, true change, starts within you, the individual. And sometimes we feel it may be hard for us to change our circumstances, but once we realize that our mentality shared with others' mentalities, we can begin to change our narrative together as a whole. Brought to you live by the Hook and Ladder Theater, Minnesota Young Champions, and an N4 collective, Young Voices Matter. I am your host, Lewiee Blaze. I am also a performer. When I would share a piece titled Why Vote? Why vote? I said we vote because of the blood oath that's been spilled, for our past leaders and ancestors who have all been killed, to fight for a right that we as humans deserve. See, that's the reason why I vote, but it's only the first. Why vote? You should vote if you care about your community. I mean, look at your everyday life and tell me, what do you see? Is it a place full of peace, love, and positivity? Or are there problems that can be solved and room for more productivity? Just think about it. Why vote? Why vote? See, most people hear the word vote and think of a U.S. president, when in reality that position for us is irrelevant. Do you know about state representatives, governors, mayors, and city council members, or local commissioners? There are many positions of power we have the power to impact, but the true reason why we feel enslaved is within us, and that's a fact. I said I vote because I'm black. I vote because when I was 16, the state wanted to send me to prison. I was young, hurt, and lost, but they wasn't compassionate with my decision. See, my public defender told me, hey, they said you looking at 5 years. I went to my JDC cell as a teen in much fear, drowned in tears. Why vote? Why vote? See, I thought about my brothers and them growing up with no male role model, about my mother and leaving her alone in her sorrow, not graduating and disappointing my family. I thought about that day as if it was gonna happen that tomorrow. Why vote? Why vote? These are some reasons why I vote, and I feel like you should take notes. I vote because of how many times I've been stopped by the police. I vote because of the trauma that is triggered when they behind me. All I see is a gun in my face and voices yelling, get down, get down. But when I move to get down, they wanna load me with rounds. Why would I get down? Why vote? I vote because it is one of my only rights as an American. Not to mention an African American, an African without heritage and an American with no inheritance. And I'm the only one that's capable of changing my narrative. Why vote? That's why I vote. Why vote? Why vote? Why vote? You should vote so people like Donald Trump won't become a dictator of this land. One day you laughing at him and another day you got handcuffs around your hands, being drugged up out of your home during a World War III. And all of a sudden we in a bloodbath with a bunch of other countries. We just want to keep the peace. Why vote? Why vote? You should vote because there are some politicians with good minds and good hearts, and all they need is some support from us as a start. But being closed-minded and miseducated is truly dangerous. I ask my people to go vote, and then they all get to saying, that don't matter. I don't do politics. I don't even like the president. And all types of ridiculousness. It makes my heart heavy that my people feel so dismissed and disconnected from this society. We forget it does exist. The power of the vote, the right that you have. The justice is within, we just have to reach in and grab. There are many reasons to vote. I shouldn't have to tell you why. But when you ask, this is it. This is the reason that I vote. Why you should vote? Why your sister should vote, your brother should vote, your father should vote, your mother should vote, your grandma should vote, your grandpa should vote, your auntie should vote, your uncle should vote, all of your little cousins and your big cousins should vote. And once again, please go vote. So, when they go low, we go vote. Vote, 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 let's vote. I said vote, 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 let's vote. Vote, 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 let's vote. I believe we'll be free. I believe we'll be free. The power is in you and me. Yeah. Then together we make we. I believe we'll be free. And we'll fly together. We'll shine together. We'll rise together. And we'll be whatever. So we'll fly together. We'll shine together. We'll rise together. And we'll overcome any weather. Yeah, yeah. Young voices matter. Your voice matters. Your existence matters. Your empowerment matters. Your engagement matters. No matter what age, no matter what race, no matter what gender, no matter what color of the face, you matter. I matter. You matter. All lives matter. But right now, we see Black Lives Matter. And we see Black votes matter. YVM. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are live here at Young Voices Matter. I am extremely excited for this last and final theme, the theme of change. And let me just read this really fast for you all out there. Change is a process, not a single action. Change starts with you. As one person, it feels hard to make a difference, but once others share that same mentality, it becomes true. And tonight, we are speaking with somebody who has been changing the narrative, extremely inspirational, out here breaking barriers, man. How you doing, Brother Eli? How you doing, man?
Man, I can't even complain. It wouldn't change nothing anyway. We out here, so.
Hey, hashtag we out here, always boots on the ground, all that good stuff. Well, thank you very much, brother, for joining us tonight and being our keynote speaker as we discuss these politics. Before we begin, can you just...
Thank you for inviting me on, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Of course, brother. Yes, sir. So before we begin, can you just let the world know who you are, what you do, where you come from?
So my name's Eliza Darris. I work for the ACLU of Minnesota. I coordinate the Smart Justice campaign. I also have a consultancy, Darris Consulting Group. And with that, we attempt to engage in the political process. Sometimes, we engage directly with candidates. We help them actuate their campaigns. Sometimes we work with local city and county governments to help them engage with community. And so just a number of things. Really, most of the things that I'm trying to do is amplify community voice in all of the spaces and places where I find myself.
That's amazing, brother. This is actually I want to let y'all all know this is a very personal connection for me right now, a very special moment, because I was once a young person who ain't know nothing about politics, wasn't engaged at all, completely looped out of that world. And then I stumbled across an opportunity to work alongside you and another leader, Anika Bowie, who also was on the show today. But I was able to work as a Smart Justice campaign ambassador, and you gave me the knowledge to know more about elected officials. Specifically, one was a county attorney. Man, that right there. Can you just let the people know what a county attorney is and what they do?
So So we really decided to turn our attentions to the county attorneys and the county sheriffs and county commissioners. These are all elected positions that are extraordinarily powerful, but they're further down on the ballot. They don't have as much glamour and as much glitz as someone running for U.S. Senate or someone running for governor or even mayor. Those key positions get a lot of attention. They get a lot of buzz. They get a lot of money that pour into them. But the seats that sit further down the ballot actually have the most immediate and powerful impact on our day-to-day lives. And so the county attorney has the ability to really decide how justice is going to look in the entirety of that county. Whatever he or she decides they're going to put their attention on, that's the energy where the officers that are under them are also going to send the juice to. And so if we think about Mike Freeman, for instance, he made a determination that he was going to pay particular attention to juveniles, and specifically juveniles that had drug offenses. Policies existed even within the Minneapolis Police Department that made it so that if you was arrested on a drug crime, for instance, you couldn't be diverted into a diversion program, no matter if it was a fifth-degree possession. And so their policies were informed by the county attorney. They knew how he was going to inform the assistant county attorneys under him to prosecute those or not prosecute those cases. All of this stuff is coming from whatever their philosophical bent or their philosophical beliefs are. So it's critical that we make sure that whoever it is that's that county attorney, their philosophy, their views, the way that they're going to go about prosecuting justice within that county, it aligns to us. It aligns to a way that's going to create community health for us. And so we didn't feel as though the current county attorney had that, and so we decided to run a candidate against them.
Mm-hmm. Powerful, powerful. I hope you all are tuning in right now, because my brother Eli is just dropping gems, and that's what this is about. We created this to educate our young people more on the political field, and have the aspiration that we would get out and be more engaged in politics, so that's what this is all about. Thank you for sharing that information.
Without a doubt. And I really appreciate you stepping up and deciding that you was going to be one of those ambassadors, because we put a lot on the ambassador's shoulders, you and Anika. You all had a big charge, and I really appreciate how you all went out pushing that. You guys pushed that agenda, and you pushed it deep into the north side of Minneapolis and even into the Rondo area in St. Paul. And so I really do appreciate how hard you pushed. It was really critical to us that as I was sitting thinking about, like, how are we going to organize this campaign to make sure that the people who was doing the door knocking, the canvassing, because we ultimately end up hiring about 70 people, that they look like us, that they came from our communities, that this was going to be the type of field canvassing program that people wasn't accustomed to seeing, that when they was answering those doors, it was going to be somebody that, they could see their nephew or their niece having that conversation with them. Yo, do you know you elect your county attorney? Well, let's have a conversation about who this person is and what they actually do.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, 100. And that's what it's all about. It's about getting out here and activating and creating that change that we want to see. Mm-hmm. Which brings me to our next question for the night. What changes would you like to see in your community? And I know that's a huge one, but try to keep it short. But what immediate changes would you like to see in our community?
I think the primary change that I would like to see in our community is much more unity. Us having a much more coherent and a much more unified approach to the big issues of the day, whether we're talking politics, whether we're talking economics. Right now, we're too easily divided. People can just slide and slither on through, right? Throw a couple, pork chops our way. And we're finding ourselves nipping at each other's heels over that. I would like to see us really become much more unified, much more impenetrable, and have much more conversation across genders, across socioeconomic classes, across just much more fluid conversation privately, right? Getting on the same page and then publicly coming and hitting hard as a unit. That's what I want to see, is much more unity in the community.
Yeah, UNITY.
Gotta let them know.
Shout out to the queen. You feel me?
Hey.
Most definitely. That makes me think of a proverb. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. Right? Much more unity. Thank you for that. And now this next question here, very, very dope one, man. Because you're just an amazing brother, right?
Come on.
Really love the work that you do. But what was the inspiration that helped you pursue this field of work? What was that spark that kind of got you into this field and made you do this work?
I don't know about sparks. Because as you know, when I was a juvenile, I was sentenced to life in prison. And so I did about 17 years in there. There was no individual spark that happened, but there were individuals that looked at me and saw so much more than my public presentation. And because I was young and wild, you know what I mean? And so, I mean, they sent me to Oak Park Heights, which is a super maximum prison, because they wanted to try to control me and you know, get me to calm down. None of that would work until some of the elder brothers in there really began to slide down on me and open themselves up to me being able to learn from them, right? It's not that I was presenting myself as a student so willing to be a sponge. They just saw past whatever I had a hard exterior. I mean, I had a hard exterior. I'm a juvenile serving life, right? They don't put you off to the side and let you, you know, eat some spinach and blow all up like Popeye doing push-ups. And then they put you in. No, they immediately put you in with the big boys, right? And so I had a hard exterior. Them brothers was giving me books to read. Right, them brothers was walking around, you know, the yard with me for years and years, breathing on me, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, right? And so the spark, I would say, was a whole bunch of sparks, but it was really those brothers taking time to invest inside of the young guy that I was and helping me to become the man that I am.
That's amazing. Just understanding that, like, this change happens, you know, and it really is an intergenerational movement, you know, like you said earlier, understanding where we come from, you know, and soaking up that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding from the ones that were here before and being able to use that as a guide and a pathway to creating a much better future.
I would say that's the beauty of this generation. This generation, this Generation Z, the millennial generation, it is unapologetic with this desire to like reach to the older generations to get that knowledge that they got. You know, like we want to sit and break bread and chop it up with grandma, right? Like we'll sit down in a minute and talk and chop it up with an elder and try to figure out the who, what, when, where's, and hows. I mean, that's a beautiful thing that's our energy, that's our vibe. Yes. And I really love that, you know, because we're really helping to heal multiple generations that came before us. Like the older generation, what do they call those? The baby boomers. Like they feel so refreshed. You know, we're chopping it up with them. They're like, wow, they're like really asking us real questions here. Yeah. And it's real because we really want to know. You know, and so, you know, it's we're a bridge. Our generation is a bridge generation, and, you know, it's an honor.
Most definitely is. And that's what it's all about. Change happens, you know, most definitely using the energy of the youth, you know, and the knowledge of and the wisdom of our elders. You're not an elder yet, you know, but me, a young person coming up, just to let you know, I soak in a lot of game from you, man. And, you know, each one teach one. We're going to keep on doing the thing. So thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, that was Elizer Darris. As you can see, just an amazing, incredible being. Thank you so much for joining us here on YVM Young Voices Matter, dropping those gems and everything. And this was the change theme. Would you be able to leave the audience and the people viewing right now with any words of wisdom?
Words of wisdom. I would say this. It's critical that we never allow anyone to put parameters around what we can and can't do in this life. If I would have listened to people telling me inside of the prison what would be the possibilities of my life, I would still be in there. Prime example, I literally wrote the legal brief that went to the state Supreme Court that got me freed from out of here. But I gave that brief to multiple other individuals to view it. And almost to a person, they all told me, don't file this like this. Even my attorney, she said, don't file that brief like that. You're going to detract from my issues. The other inmates, the wise legal scholars in there said, don't file that. It's a losing argument. And if I would have listened to any of them at any last single point, I wouldn't be here right now talking to you. It is a dangerous, dangerous thing when we allow people to circumscribe the possibilities of our own life. And so we have to reject that. We have to recognize that they're speaking death over us, right? And we have to say, you know, that might be true for you, but not necessarily true for me, and reject it. You have to mentally and even verbally reject it. Don't let nobody speak death over you. We speaking life around here.
Speaking life around here. I love that, brother. And with that being said, that was YVM, Young Voices Matter. Everybody get in tune. Peace and love. Peace and love.
Why vote? I vote because I'm black. I vote because at the end of the day, I'm the only one that's gonna have my back. I vote because when I was 16, the state wanted to send me to prison. I was young, hurt, and lost, but they couldn't be compassionate with my decision. My public defender told me, hey, they say you looking at 5 years. I went to my JDC cell as a teen in much fear, drowned in tears. I thought about my brothers and them growing up with no male role model. I thought about